If you are captivated by the ingenuity of Viking engineering and want to uncover how they built structures that endure centuries, subscribe to Echoes of Valor now. Today, we explore the extraordinary techniques Vikings used to preserve timber without synthetic chemicals. From longships that braved icy seas to timber halls that survived the elements, Viking woodcraft combined observation, natural resources, and skillful preparation to produce durability that modern construction often struggles to replicate. Why Viking timber lasted far longer than ordinary wood. Wood left untreated typically succumbs to moisture, fungi, and insects within decades. Yet Viking ships, bridges, and stave churches frequently survived for hundreds of years. Their secret was a series of methods designed to enhance natural durability while minimizing decay risk. Timber longevity depended not only on material selection, but also on treatments that integrated chemical, mechanical, and environmental strategies. The Vikings carefully selected and harvested timber to maximize durability. They preferred dense, slow-growing trees such as oak, pine, and larch. These species naturally resist rot due to high tannin content and structural density. Vikings often felled trees in winter when sap levels were low, reducing internal moisture that could foster decay. Seasonal selection ensured timber would absorb protective treatments effectively and retain structural integrity, a level of discernment that mass harvesting practices in modern forestry rarely achieve. Soaking timber in water or brine was a cornerstone of preservation. Vikings immersed freshly cut logs in seawater or fresh water for weeks. While this may seem counterintuitive, soaking removes soluble sugars and starches that attract fungi and insects. In brine, minerals like calcium and magnesium, penetrated the wood, strengthening it and reducing its susceptibility to microbial attack. After soaking, the timber was slowly air-dried to prevent cracking and warping, all while locking in that protective mineral content. This process, it created wood that could withstand moisture fluctuations without rapid deterioration. Applying natural oils, resins, and tar further enhanced protection against the elements. Once dried, the timber was coated with pine resin, birch tar, or on occasion heated plant oils. These compounds formed hydrophobic barriers that prevented water infiltration while, still allowing the wood to breathe. Heating the substances allowed for deeper penetration into the grain, ensuring really long-term protection. Repeated applications, sometimes accompanied by a bit of light smoking, added layers of defense, deterring both rot and insect damage. Archaeological examples of centuries-old Viking timber still reveal traces of these natural coatings. How mechanical design complemented chemical treatment. Vikings understood that preservation was not solely chemical, Structural design minimized water accumulation and promoted airflow. Beams were angled to shed rain, joinery was precise to reduce exposed end grain, and roof overhangs protected structural elements. Shipbuilders shaped hull planks to prevent standing water, which was honestly quite clever. These design choices amplified the effectiveness of chemical treatments, creating timber structures resilient under constant stress and exposure. So, smoke treatment actually added an extra layer of durability. Exposing timber to smoke, well, it deposits these phenolic compounds into the wood, and they act as antifungal and insect-repellent agents. This step, when combined with resin or oil applications, produced a multi-layered protection system. Unlike modern industrial heat treatments that can, sometimes compromise wood fibers, Viking smoke treatment reinforced both strength and decay resistance simultaneously. Modern applications inspired by Viking techniques, well, they continue to shape the way we approach construction and craftsmanship even today. These methods can be adapted today for woodworking restoration and sustainable construction. Start by selecting dense, slow-growing timber. Soak logs in salt water or fresh water for a period sufficient to leach sugars and absorb minerals. Air dry slowly to avoid warping. Apply natural oils or resins, gently heated for better penetration, and consider smoke exposure for enhanced antifungal protection. Mechanical design principles, proper drainage, end-grain sealing and ventilation should complement these treatments to maximize longevity. Even small-scale projects can really benefit from Viking-inspired preparation. So, why does Viking preservation still outperform modern chemical methods? Well, modern preservatives often focus on short-term protection, and sometimes they can compromise the wood's flexibility or even its structural integrity. Viking methods emphasized, harmony with natural properties, selecting species with inherent durability, treating timber to enhance these qualities, and designing structures that prevent moisture accumulation. The combination of biological, chemical, and mechanical strategies explains why centuries-old Viking timber often outlasts wood treated with contemporary industrial solutions. The broader lesson from Viking ingenuity is quite remarkable. Viking timber preservation highlights the power of observation, patience, and intelligent use of available resources. By understanding the properties of wood and applying layered complementary treatments, they created structures that endured centuries. Builders, restoration experts, and survivalists today can draw from these techniques to enhance durability, reduce reliance on synthetic chemicals, and create resilient woodwork. If this guide transformed how you view historical timber techniques, do consider subscribing to Echoes of Valor and share this with anyone fascinated by Viking engineering or sustainable construction. Viking methods are not merely historical curiosities. They are timeless strategies for making timber last, combining natural chemistry, careful design, and meticulous craftsmanship to achieve longevity that modern builders still struggle to match.